So, 2 dances tonight for the 5 remaining couples. Don't miss them here on BBC One. Now, the football latest in Final Score.
United 0, trying to avoid relegation.
He was one of the heroes of the afternoon.
Applause from the away supporters. Go! The latest score is Wimbledon go through to the Premier.
John Terry's tears, we all remember. It was 2 crucial weeks.
Hello, welcome to Final Score. We've got a shiny new studio here in Salford, 2 slightly less shiny but always valued pundits evaluating the 7 Premier League matches which are taking place right now. Garth and Martin will be unleashed in a moment, but first let's bring you right up to speed with what's going on around the top flight. And one's just gone in at Arsenal. Robin van Persie, 33 goals this year, and what a cracker that was on Arsenal's 125th birthday celebrations. Bolton Wanderers are trailing Aston Villa by 2-1. They're on course for a 12th defeat this season, despite Klasic's goal in the second half. That's because Albrighton and Petrov struck in the first half for Villa. Liverpool 1, Queen's Park Rangers 0. Suarez header at the start of the second half broke the deadlock there, and Rangers rear guard, no response from them just yet. Manchester United have responded to their Champions League exit by scoring 4 at Old Trafford to Wolves 1 so far. Stephen Fletcher's got that for Wolves, the double for Nani, and Wayne Rooney. Looks like it's going to end a bleak week for United. At Norwich 3, Newcastle United 2. Houlihan, Holt and Morrison have scored for the Canaries. Demba Ba has got both classy goals for Newcastle. The Magpies have also had Dan Gosling sent off. Swansea are leading Fulham by 1-0. Scott Sinclair has been credited with that one. West Brom 1, Wigan 2. The Baggies had led through Stephen Reid. Victor Moses, though, and Jordi Gomez have the Latics on for 3 priceless points they would be for Roberto Martinez's side. Let's hear from our reporters at the grounds then. We'll start with Damien Johnson, who's seen just the 5 goals so far today.
Yes, very entertaining after midweek European nightmare. Normal service resumed for Manchester United. 2 goals from Nani, 2 from Wayne Rooney, who hadn't scored in the league for 8 games before today. At 2-0, Stephen Fletcher pulled one back for the visitors. A header after careless United defending. Nani got his second and United's third from close range, and Rooney turned in a 4th. Valencia, the supply line down the right for both of those goals. United could have had a hatful in truth, but just the reaction the manager was looking for. 4-1.
Thank you very much, Damien. And to the Emirates, we can hear about that Robin van Persie goal. Jonathan Ledyard.
At last, some quality. Best spell of the game for Everton, causing problems, but then Alex Song picked out Robin van Persie just inside the Everton area. What a volley. Left-footed, straight away, flew in off a post. Howard nowhere. 1-0 to the Arsenal is the cry. It's 15 for the season in terms of league goals, 33, as you say, for the calendar year. Just one behind the watching Thierry Henry. At last a smile, and Arsenal now coming forward, leading 1-0.
Some Arsenal greats there at the Emirates today celebrating that. We've got our own here, of course, in the shape of Martin Keown. You enjoyed that goal because it'd been a bit dire from Arsenal in the first half.
They played very well in the first half, couldn't finish off the chances, and they need somebody with quality, and Van Persie's got that quality. It's his movement, Gabby, off the ball, and Song picks him out well with a nice diagonal through ball, and it's a beautiful, clean, sweet volley.
Again, maybe that they're too reliant on him, do you think?
Well, for now, yes, of course they are, but the team's about building and keeping their confidence together, and he is really the player they look to at the moment. They keep panning to Henry in the crowd, and I can't help thinking that just maybe Henry might come back sometime in January and play some sort of cameo role alongside Van Persie, because there's been an outpouring today of emotion towards Henry and Van Persie. I think it is realistic, watching him and hearing what I'm hearing in the training.
What you're hearing, is he fit enough?
I'm hearing they can hardly get the ball off him in training. He's that good. But today, Van Persie, I mean, his quality, pure quality. And, you know, when I was at the club, there were problems with him, and he's developed. But he is now the player they look to, and he's class act today.
It would change the dynamics somewhat at Arsenal if he came back, wouldn't it?
I think that there's a maturity now about Van Persie to accept Henry back in for a short period if he were to do that.
OK, let's move on then and go to Carrow Road. Robin Bailey's seen sending off. Plenty of goals, 5 in fact, and a couple of controversial incidents.
Yeah, Norwich 3, Newcastle 2. It's turned into a cracker, this one. 2 beautifully taken goals by Demba Ba. His 10th and 11th goals of the season have kept Newcastle in it, actually. Norwich's goals from Wes Houlihan, Grant Holt and Steve Morrison, headers as well. Put them 3-1 up, and then Dan Gosling was sent off a straight red for a tackle on Russell Martin, which, well, might be unlucky sort of 5 years ago, but nowadays you have to get sent off a tackle like that. So at that stage, you think Newcastle are out of it. Norwich try and sit on their lead. Barr gets them back in it as Fox has a shot from about 35 yards. Yeah, Barr gets them back in it. And this Newcastle team, you've got to give them so much credit. They have all these players out. They've got Taylor Colaccini out. They've got Guthrie out, Tiote out. Massive character. Pardew has really instilled a great organisation in this side. And they're not out of this, even though they're down to 10 men. It's Norwich 3, Newcastle 2.
Thank you very much. Just to let you know that Celtic have taken the lead 1-0 against Hearts. It's taken them 72 minutes to get their goal. And, of course, Rangers won at lunchtime. So they stretched their lead back to 7 points. So that would cut the lead down to 4 points if Celtic can hold on to that. And Sheffield United are now 3-0 up at home to Rochdale. Ched Evans second there for them. They started the day in 5th in League One. Let's go back to the Premier League, though, and to Anfield in particular. Liverpool, of course, on the end of a 1-0 defeat earlier in the week to Fulham. That's the scoreline at the moment there against QPR. Richard Askham is there to tell us whether QPR have got any kind of fight back.
Yes, Gabby, they're just starting to show that, although by and large it's been one-way traffic here. Liverpool with attack after attack. They finally got the breakthrough after battering away early this half. Luis Suarez powering in a header after good work from Charlie Adam, although Suarez missed several chances in the first half. He could have had a hat-trick. And in Radi Černý, QPR have had a goalkeeper in inspired form, Gabby. 2 saves this half to deny Maxi really out of the top drawer. QPR largely unthreatening and solid, but just in the last few minutes, with DJ Campbell on, they've started to open up a bit. So we'll see if that produces a goal at one end or the other.
Thank you very much, Richard. Let's go to the Reebok. Bolton were desperate for something out of this game. Aston Villa took everything in the first half, James Mason, but Bolton getting back into it with that goal. Do they look like they could take a point at least?
They could do, Gabby, and they need to do it soon. A tense finish in prospect as Bolton search for the equaliser that you mentioned. And based on the second half performance, they just about deserve it. But as you mentioned also, 2 goals in 6 first half minutes gave Villa the lead. First, Markel Brighton side-footing home a Gabriel Agbonlahor cross before Stilian Petrov made it 2 from just outside of the area with a deflected strike. The Reebok was a very miserable place at half-time, but Owen Coyle's team talk did the trick as Bolton returned after the break with renewed vigour and scored through Ivan Klasnic, the striker powering home from close range as Villa failed to clear a corner. But the striker has just left the field, so Bolton's chances are limited. They trail 2-1.
And I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but things could get worse for them because they're rock bottom at the moment, and that's largely because of what's going on at the Hawthorns. Ivan Gaskell.
Yes, and what's going on here is that we have a game that's drawing to a fascinating conclusion. Wigan are hanging on here. How they need a win with Chelsea, Liverpool and Manchester United to follow this fixture. They're rooted to the foot of the table, but this would help enormously. It would be only their 3rd win in 15 games. 2 first half goals here. West Brom actually took the lead. Stephen Reed, fine free kick. Replied to by Victor Moses with an equally fine finish from around about 8 yards out, but poor marking in the heart of that West Brom defence, and that's a theme that's continued. They took the lead, did Wigan, second half. Stephen Reed's mistake, fouling Moses, went down easily, definite penalty, and Jordi Gomez really did dispatch it calmly into the corner. West Brom are throwing everything at this now. They can sense that this will be a real setback, and I can tell you that Shane Long has just hit a post with a fine header, but it's not gone in. They're parking the bus, the caravan and the lorry here. It's 2-1.
Let's go straight to Carrow Road. Robin Bailey, another goal there.
Another goal for Grant Holt, and those problems in the centre of the Newcastle defence are beginning to show, and Holt has really done well again. It's a twisting header. He had to arch his body and get it to his right-hand side. It really, Bradley Johnson just put it on a plate, the sub. Beautiful free kick. Holt, that's his 2nd of the game, and it's 4-2 Norwich now, and now they look to be safe, but you never know with this Norwich side. It's 4-2.
We'll talk about that in just a moment, and those frailties in the Newcastle defence. Cheltenham are now 3-0 up against Southend in that top-of-the-table clash at Whaddon Road. But we're going to go to the Liberty Stadium and hear from Jason Mohammed.
Yes, Gabby, there are a few Santa Claus outfits dotted around the Liberty Stadium, but it's Clint Dempsey who's gifted Swansea City the lead. Scott Sinclair's shot hitting Dempsey's thigh, looping over Mark Schwarzer. Fulham's response was some beautiful passing football. Brian Ruiz, he almost equalised, but Michel Vorm saved. Dempsey and Johnson also denied by the superb Swans keeper. Kemi Augustin almost made it too, but hit the post. Fulham could still get something from this. Martin Yall has just gone 4-3-3. 6 minutes to go, 1-0 Swansea lead.
Now, matters affecting the top of the Championship. Southampton drew at lunchtime, which meant West Ham could go top if they scored 3. They were 1-0 down, but we're going back to the Madejski Stadium because Lindsay Hooper has another goal.
I do, Gabby, and Brian McDermott will be the one rounding off a fabulous year in charge with a 2-0 win over West Ham as it stands. Reading 2, West Ham 0. Kebe, the pace of him is just untrue to watch from here. He ran past down the wing, past the West Ham defence again, playing in Adam Lafondra, who picked out Simon Church more or less on the goal line, headed in with absolute ease to make it Reading 2, West Ham 0.
If things stay as they are at Carrow Road, Newcastle will have picked up 1 point from 12 after their magnificent start to the season. It's all beginning to look a little bit more average. That's probably where you expect to find them. They're currently 7th in the table as things stand. But it's the defensive issues that have been highlighted today. They've lost Colaccini, they've lost Stephen Taylor, and 3 of Norwich's 4 goals come from headers.
Yeah, set pieces. Set piece. 2 of them have come from set pieces. They just seem to be switching off, and it's something Pardew is particularly keen on, to sort out the marking from set pieces. But he hasn't really got the firepower. And Gavin Holt is quite a difficult player, to say the least, to play against. He uses his body tremendously well, and today he's looked awesome in the air. And Morrison as well, grabbing another bullet header. It's just an area that they just can't cope with.
OK, let's stay in the Premier League, and we're going back to the Liberty Stadium. Jason Mohammed, news for us.
Yes, it's Karim Fry. I was just telling you, wasn't I, Gabby, that I got the feeling that Fulham could still get something out of this game. Karim Fry ran at the heart of the Swansea City defence, and he was tripped by Jazz Richards. Referee had no option but to point to the spot. Michel Vorm has walked away from his goal. It's a penalty to Fulham, to cut a long story short. Michel Vorm, a few mind games in the Swansea City goal, has earned him a yellow card. I don't know what the heck he was doing, but he was walking around and he's been given a yellow card. It's Clint Dempsey with a chance to rescue a point for Fulham. Of course, the goal is being given to Scott Sinclair. It came off Clint Dempsey's thigh, but Dempsey has an opportunity here to make it 1-1. Michel Vorm saved a penalty at this very end against Wigan Athletic early in the season. It's Dempsey who runs up, right-footed, saved again by Michel Vorm. What a keeper this guy is turning out to be. What a signing, one of the signings of the season. Michel Vorm tips it round the post. Fulham have missed the penalty. Swansea City 1, Fulham 0.
I think we've said it before, but Vorm. I mean, that's their 7th clean sheet if they can hold on to that today, and he's played a big part in that.
Dempsey's hit that was a great deal of power as well, so all credit to the keeper.
Save.
That is not a lucky save, that is first class.
I have to say, I'm looking at the penalty again. I thought they were a bit fortunate, Fulham, to be fair. The guy who went down, I think it was Fry. It made the most of it, and he got the call. The save magnificent. So to some extent, I feel justice was done.
OK. Let's check in on the Championship now. We'll go to the Riverside. Steve Sutton there, Middlesbrough with the lead. How is it going?
It's still 1-0 to Middlesbrough. Gabby, that goal in the first half, it came from a goalkeeping error from Anchor Gren, Scott MacDonald there to pick up the pieces. In the second half, it's laboured along, I have to say. 2 clear-cut chances at both ends. Early on for Brighton, Gordon Greer with a free header from a corner. He sent it over the bar, and then at the other end, Tony McMahon with a free kick. The ball came in, keeper couldn't hold it, but the rebound cleared. Middlesbrough 1, Brighton 0.
Thanks, Steve. Let's go to Vicarage Road. It's 1-0 to Watford. Any sign of a Leeds goal, Tony Lockwood?
Well, Gabby, they've brought on Ross McCormack to give them another option up front, but Watford's upturn in form continuing. The on-loan Michael Keightley with a moment of real quality to score the only goal of this game. The Leeds defence dropped off. Keightley kept on going and then found the bottom corner with an exquisite finish. Marvin Sordell with a wonderful chance to double their lead, lifting the ball over the crossbar from 12 yards out. McCormack on for Leeds alongside Becchio as they chase an equaliser. It's Watford 1, Leeds 0.
So it's 2-0 to Reading. We're going back to the Majeski because Lindsay Hooper, there's been a sending off. Who's been sent off?
It's the second sending off of the afternoon, Gabby, for West Ham. West Ham now down to 9 men, and they're doing, well, it's their own undoing here, really, with the pace of Reading. It's just been a task for them all afternoon, certainly in this second half. Jack Collison is the one that's been shown red on this occasion. Joey O'Brien shown a red earlier in the first half. So Jack Collison, he looked to push over Kebe basically on the touchline, and Kebe's pace has been causing problems, and that means now that West Ham have got a mountain to climb if they're to get anything from this in the last few minutes. Reading 2, West Ham 0.
OK, let's go to the Den. It's Millwall, Cardiff. Mark Webber, no goals.
Oh, on the day the world got to see Gabby, Garth and Martin in glorious high definition. Millwall and Cardiff fans here watching a game of low, if not no definition. Generous portions of midfield tennis, punctuated by a bucket of missed opportunities. Mainly for Millwall, to be fair. James Henry hitting the bar of an open goal, blazing a couple just wide as well. Ruaza and Simpson joined in on that fun as well. The natives frustrated. Cardiff had a couple of chances which they've blown as well, but to be honest with you, if it stays like this, it'll be Millwall will be wondering what could have been. 0-0.
Thank you very much, Mark. Let's go back to the Majeski. So West Ham down to 9 men. Lindsay Hooper, I'm guessing this goal isn't theirs.
No, it's not, Gabby. Reading 3, West Ham 0. The resulting free kick was curled in. Simon Church scoring with a flicked header on his birthday. He's got a brace. Reading 3, West Ham 0.
Let's go to Jackie Oatley at the Ricoh Arena. Coventry have been on a dreadful run of form. It sounds like they've had another woeful day today. Hull in the lead, looking good for it?
They are. Coventry City, I'm afraid, are very poor. They're trailing Hull by a goal to nil. The quality of the game is dreadful, and the Coventry supporters are losing what patience they did have. There are fewer than 12,000 of them here today, heading for their 3rd defeat in a row, no win in 10. Hull haven't been scintillating, but they really haven't had to be to take the lead. They've stepped up a gear in the second half, scored the only goal. Corey Evans firing into the bottom left-hand corner from Dawson's cross. McLean also made it 2 since then, but he fired wide. Coventry pouring forwards, but really they're just so lacking in quality, especially in the final third. And still they have their former chairman in the dugout, which is really bizarre. Everybody scratching their heads as to what on earth is he doing there. It's Coventry 0, Hull 1.
There'll be much excitement at the Liberty Stadium. Jason Mohammed can tell us why.
Yes, Danny Graham has come off the bench. He's got Swansea City's second. Very clever corner from, I think it was Mark Gower. Lovely corner in. Danny Graham left his marker at the near post, and a cheeky little turn past Mark Schwarzer. It's 2-0 to Swansea City, and hard lines on Fulham.
Talk about that in a moment, but let's go to Vicarage Road. There's been a penalty there. Tony Lockwood.
Third have missed it. Marvin Sordell, Gabby, fouled inside the area. The referee pointing to the spot. Sordell picked himself up, took the penalty, stepped up, and the keeper, Alex McCarthy, got a hand to it onto the post and scrambled clear. Michael Keightley's goal the difference, but Watford with a penalty miss. They lead Leeds by a goal to nil.
That battle at the bottom of League Two there between Bradford and Plymouth. Bradford have got one back on 86 minutes. Plymouth made that long journey to Bradford. Must have thought they were going away with 3 points, but it looks like the spoils might be shared. Let's talk about the Swansea goal. Martin.
Yeah, I mean, you know, looking at it was Graham that scores the goal. Do you see it, Garth?
Yeah, I did. I've got to say, I'm all over the place here. The goals are flying in. Oh, it's gone.
Swansea.
No,
Swansea? No?
Yeah, no, it's gone.
No, it's gone. Danny Graham, 5th goal of the season. Am I ringing any bells?
Yeah,
no?
Well, that's ringing the bell, but I've got to think of the action. There's no recall on
While
the
you're
action.
doing that, I'm going to go to Celtic Park because Brian McLaughlin has got something to tell us about.
Yes, Gabby, it's a real drama here. Celtic leading by 1 goal to nil. Victor Wanyama after 72 minutes. A stunning strike from 23 yards. But referee Callum Murray has just awarded Hearts a penalty kick. A
for a handball inside the box. Nobody else seemed to see what had happened. It was a back heel from Stephen Elliott. It looked like it was the goalkeeper, Fraser Forster, who handled it off the line. Referee Callum Murray, though, obviously thought it was a Celtic player, and it's going to be Egert Jonsson up against Fraser Forster. And, well, there's going to be a slight delay here, Gabby, because it's Georgios Samaras is trying to say to the referee that the ball's not on the spot. He's obviously trying to put off the Hearts play. Hearts have been gallant this afternoon. Remember, this is a club in real turmoil. The players have not been paid here for almost 2 months now. The ball is now back on the spot. Fraser Forster now, the Celtic goalkeeper, is coming out to try and tell Callum Murray to move the ball. Indeed, Egert Jonsson has moved the ball back. The spot kick is going to be taken now, Gabby. You can hear the boos ringing around Parkhead as Egert Jonsson steps up to take the penalty for Hearts. He shoots, and it's saved! Saved by Fraser Forster. Celtic lead by 1-0. 1 minute left here at Parkhead.
Thank you very much, Brian. Let's go to Old Trafford. The final whistle has gone. Damien Johnson. And the same probably can be said of Liverpool. It's all over at Anfield. Richard Askham.
Yes, Gabby, Liverpool 1, QPR 0. Liverpool should have had this game buried after half an hour. The Reds largely in the shape of Luis Suarez missed chance after chance. Raddy Cherney in the QPR goal made several inspired saves. But it's hard to keep Suarez quiet for too long. And just after the break, it was the Uruguayan who broke the deadlock, heading in after great work from birthday boy Charlie Adam. QPR were solid but rarely mounted an attack of note until the final few minutes when they did exert some pressure. Liverpool, who've drawn their last 4 at home before this, got all 3 points but once again made hard work of a promoted team here at Anfield.
A high-scoring affair at Carrow Road. 2 sides who were bruised last week, but there's only one winner, Robin Bailey.
There was a hugely entertaining game, 3 priceless points for Norwich, but Newcastle couldn't really cope with the damaging injury problems which saw Taylor out for the season, Colaccini, Guthrie, Tiote missing, all the sending off before the hour of Dan Gosling, one of the deputies. Houlihan didn't know much about the opener after Croft's header was stopped on the line. Demba Ba equalised on the stroke of half-time, but those aerial defensive issues told. Headers for Holt and Morrison put Norwich in charge. Gosling's sending off was really damaging. Norwich tried to sit on a 3-1 lead. Barr got them back in it, an 11th of the season to give the Geordies hope, but Holt again put the game to bed. The decision to play Morrison and Holt together told Newcastle need to solve this defensive crisis.
No such thing for Swansea. That's the 7th clean sheet they've kept so far this season. That's not bad going for a new boy, is it, Jason Mohammed?
Gabby, Swansea City's goalkeeper Michel Vorm did nothing for 57 minutes but has won the Man of the Match award for an unbelievable 30 minutes, which saw him make 3 great saves and a penalty from Clint Dempsey. A grim afternoon for Dempsey, who gifted Scott Sinclair his goal, but a great one for Swansea City's Dutch keeper. He is formidable. Swansea City 2, Fulham 0.
Let's go to Vicarage Road. Watford, the last time we were there, missed a penalty. Now Leeds have a penalty. Tony Lockwood.
Leeds have scored. 2,000 fans, a big vocal travelling contingent to my right celebrate. Robert Snodgrass in form, right to the death, steps up, plus it past the keeper Scott Loach. It's 1-1 at Vicarage Road.
It's all over at the Hawthorns, and what a big result this is. Ivan Gaskell.
Isn't it just? And you know, you can't help but be a little pleased if you're a neutral for the Wigan manager Roberto Martinez, who's conducted himself in the face of a very tough season with such dignity, and a result that they deserve here today. Make no mistake, West Brom took the lead, a fabulous free kick from Reed, responded to 4 minutes later by Moses with an equally delightful curling shot into the top corner. Jordi Gomez struck a second half penalty after Moses was fouled by Reed. It proved the winner, it was exquisitely taken, and then Wigan, well, they parked everything in front of the goal. The shots rained in, West Brom hit the post, they did everything but score, but Wigan held on. A precious, precious win for them.
Well, that win for them condemns Bolton Wanderers to rock-bottom position tonight. James Mason's seen them play Aston Villa at the Reebok.
Yes, Gabby, it's 4 defeats in a row for Bolton as they drop, as you say, to the bottom of the Premier League table, and gives Aston Villa their first away win of the season And it was 2 goals in 6 first-half minutes that proved enough to earn all 3 points for the visitors. Marco Brighton opened the scoring, neatly finishing from inside the area after a cross whipped in from Gabriel Agbonlahor. And minutes later, Stilian Petrov made it 2 with a deflected strike from just outside of the area. Bolton did mount a spirited second-half fight back as even Klasnic powered home from close range, but it proved to be in vain as it ended Bolton Wanderers 1, Aston Villa 2.
And it's all over at the Emirates, and it seems today, Jonathan Ledyard.
Yes, 1-0 to the Arsenal, and Robin van Persie, who else, saved the day, in fact made the day for Arsenal with a stunning volley in the second half, and the camera is lingering long on him as he leaves the pitch here at the Emirates, and he scored just as Everton were exerting genuine, concerted pressure on the Arsenal goal for the first time in the game. They've been let off the hook, Everton, in the first half. Arsenal's spurned all sorts of chances, Van Persie strangely among the offenders, but he made no mistake midway through that second half. His 33rd goal in this calendar year. Everton rarely threatened to beat Chesney. McKelney just near the end in stoppage time sent a volley past the post. It's not unexpected though, because this is Arsene Wenger's 14th home win against Everton in 16 games, and Arsenal in the top 4 for the first time this season.
Thank you. Let's go to the Championship, because West Ham haven't just squandered the chance to go top. They've lost at the Madejski. Lindsay Hooper.
And they've lost quite considerably, Gabby, in the end. 2 sendings off, West Ham reduced to 9 men. Reading 3, West Ham 0. The final score, the final whistle has just gone. That's the 4th win in 6 games for Reading, and rounds off a great first year in charge for Brian McDermott. And I have to say here, they're very well organised, Reading. The pace was great, and that's really what hampered West Ham. Simon Church with a brace on his birthday. Reading 3, West Ham 0.
Thank you, Lindsay. Let's go to the Riverside, because the results of the top 2, Southampton, you remember, drew in the lunchtime game against Blackpool, and that defeat for West Ham means that Middlesbrough now are just 2 points off the top 2 at the Riverside Stadium. Steve Sutton.
Yes, 3 very hard fought points for Middlesbrough. They've won 1-0, the goal coming midway through the first half. A mistake by keeper Casper Ankergren. Scott MacDonald gobbling up the rebound from close range. Chances at both ends in the second half. MacDonald himself could have put it beyond any doubt with 3 efforts in added on time. As it was, it's ended Middlesbrough 1, Brighton 0.
They're still playing at St Andrews, but Birmingham have gone into the lead. Steve May.
Well, it's just finished here, Gabby. It's Birmingham 2, Doncaster 1. Marlon King just scored his 2nd goal of the match, put through by Chris Burke, and it's Birmingham's first win in 5. It's also Chris Hughton's 53rd birthday tomorrow, but I must say they left it late here to give him his birthday present. The goal was scored for Doncaster by Marc-Antoine Fortune. It's his first goal in his 3rd appearance for Rovers. He's actually on loan from West Brom. That will certainly please the Blues fans, but I tell you what, the result has pleased them even more. It's Birmingham 2, Doncaster 1.
And it might give some ray of hope to Coventry City fans. They're rock bottom, but at least with Doncaster not getting a point, they're still 3 points away from them. At the Rico, am I clutching at straws, Jackie, to find something to please the Coventry fans? It sounds like it was just dreadful from them today.
It was dreadful. They did have some late pressure. Clive Platt missed a chance for them to equalise late on, but really it was poor stuff. Their 3rd defeat in a row, Hull City's 3rd win in a row under caretaker manager Nicky Barmby. The job is his if he wants it. He's yet to make up his mind. Corey Evans with a low right foot strike on the hour mark was the only goal of the game. McLean also went close, and you just wonder where Coventry go from here. They don't have a chairman. The last one was sitting in the dugout today for some unknown reason, and I just wonder whether Andy Thorne was particularly happy about that. Coventry 0, Hull 1.
And that moves Hull into 5th as well. So Nick Barmby, the job is his if he wants it. He's doing a very good job with Hull. Let's go to the City Ground now. Andrew James. Forest have now gone 4 defeats in a row and not scored.
Yes, we're in the last minute of stoppage time, Gabby. It certainly looks that way, though. It's been a very disappointing afternoon for Forest. Credit to Crystal Palace as the final whistle is blown. They got the goal through Glenn Murray on the hour, an angled shot. Palace, it's their first win in 8, and they'd lost the last 3 away games, so it's a great result for them, but it's getting worse and worse for Forest. Steve Cottrell tried to rally the fans at the start of the second half, waving his arms around. They didn't respond, the players didn't respond, and Palace get all 3 points.
It's all over at McDermott Park. Ian Turner.
St Johnstone 0, Motherwell 3. Another great win on the road for Stuart McCall's Motherwell. Their 7th from 9 games, and it's inflicted a first defeat as St Johnstone manager on Steve Lomas. It wasn't a good day for St Johnstone, and Motherwell showed them how to break at pace and how to take their chances. Those chances fell to Omar Daly and Jamie Murphy in the first half, and with St Johnstone improving, Murphy added a 3rd midway through the second when he redirected a Daly shot into the net with his backside. St Johnstone 0, Motherwell 3.
OK, final score, as you can see, if you've got an HD television, is now on the HD channel at 2:30 every Saturday, as well, of course, as the red button and the BBC Sport website. So you've got no excuse to miss us, nor to not join us at 2:30. Let's get the full classified results, though, now with Mike West.
Starting with the Barclays Premier League. Arsenal 1, Everton 0. Bolton Wanderers 1, Aston Villa 2. Liverpool 1, Queen's Park Rangers 0. Manchester United 4, Wolves 1. Norwich City 4, Newcastle United 2. Swansea City 2, Fulham 0. West Brom 1, Wigan Athletic 2. The Empire Championship, the game between Barnsley and Ipswich Town, is an evening kick-off at 5:20. Birmingham City 2, Doncaster Rovers 1. Burnley 0, Portsmouth 1. Coventry City 0, Hull City 1. Derby County 2, Bristol City 1. Leicester City 1, Peterborough United 1. Middlesbrough 1, Brighton and Hove Albion 0. Millwall 0, Cardiff City 0. Nottingham Forest 0, Crystal Palace 1. Reading 3, West Ham United 0. Southampton 2, Blackpool 2. Watford 1, Leeds United 1. And the Empire League 1, Brentford 2, Hartlepool United 1. Colchester United 4, Bury 1. Huddersfield Town 0, AFC Bournemouth 1. Leyton Orient 3, Exeter City 0. Oldham Athletic 0, Sheffield Wednesday 2. Preston North End 0, Stevenage 0. Scunthorpe United 1, Carlisle United 2. Sheffield United 3, Rochdale 0 is a later score. Tranmere Rovers 0, Milton Keynes Dons 2. Walsall 1, Charlton Athletic 1. Wycombe Wanderers 3, Chesterfield 2. And Yeovil Town 1, Notts County 0. The Empire League 2, AFC Wimbledon 0, Accrington Stanley 2. Aldershot Town 1, Shrewsbury Town 0. Bradford City 1, Plymouth Argyle 1. Bristol Rovers 1, Swindon Town 1. Cheltenham Town 3, Southend United 0. Crawley Town 3, Burton Albion 0. Dagenham and Redbridge 1, Port Vale 2. Hereford United 2, Rotherham United 3. Macclesfield Town 0, Gillingham 0. Morecambe 0, Oxford United 0. And Northampton Town 1, Crewe Alexandra 1. The Clydesdale Bank Scottish Premier League, Aberdeen 2, St Mirren 2. Celtic 1, Hearts 0. Dunfermline against Kilmarnock, match postponed. Hibernian 0, Rangers 2. Inverness Caledonian Thistle 2, Dundee United 3. And St Johnstone 0, Motherwell 3. The Scottish Division 1, sponsored by Iron Brew, the game between Ayr United and Ross County, match postponed. Dundee 2, Queen of the South 1. Falkirk 0, Hamilton Academical 0. Greenock Morton 1, Partick Thistle 2. And Wraith Rovers 0, Livingston 1. Scottish Division 2, Albion Rovers 3, Dumbarton 1. Brecon City against Stirling Albion, match postponed. Cowdenbeath 0, Arbroath 0. Forfar Athletic against East Fife, match postponed. And Stenhousemuir 1, Airdrie United 1. The Scottish 3rd Division, Alloa Athletic 1, Queen's Park 0. Annan Athletic 2, Montrose 1. Clyde against Elgin City and Peterhead against Berwick Rangers, both those matches postponed. And Stranraer 6, East Stirlingshire 0. The Corbett Sports Welsh Premier, Aberystwyth Town 1, the New Saints 0 is a later score. Avon Lido 3, Newtown 2. Airbus UK Broughton 3, Carmarthen Town 1. And finally the Carling Premiership, Cliftonville 3, Lisburn Distillery 1. Coleraine 3, Dungannon Swifts 2. Crusaders 0, Linfield 1. Glenavon 3, Ballymena United 0. And Glentoran 0, Portadown 2.
And just one late kick-off to tell you about. It's a result, and it's at Bramall Lane. Sheffield United have beaten Rochdale by 3-0 in League One. Oh, sorry, it's still a latest. And let's have a look at the tables then. Manchester City, of course, not in action until Monday against Chelsea, so Manchester United have cut their advantage at the top to 2 points after their victory this afternoon. Third place Tottenham didn't play either, so Arsenal have closed the gap on their North London rivals to 2 points. And then Chelsea, who host the leaders on Monday, have slid to 5th as a result. Liverpool rise above Newcastle after they won, and the Magpies were beaten, and Norwich creep into the top half of the table with their win over Newcastle. At the bottom, a 12th defeat of the season for Bolton sees them slump to the foot of the table. That's because Wigan won for only the third time this season to not only climb off the bottom, but out of the bottom 3. Blackburn and Sunderland, of course, occupy the other 2 relegation places ahead of their meeting at the Stadium of Light tomorrow, so things could change. And in the Championship, Southampton stay at the summit and increase their lead over West Ham to 3 points following the Hammers' defeat at Reading. The big gain is made by Middlesbrough, whose victory against Brighton sees them go level on points with Cardiff. Hull leapfrog leads to go 5th with victory against Coventry. And that defeat leaves the Sky Blues in dire straits, 7 points from safety, while Doncaster and Nottingham Forest also failed to make any inroads. Ipswich will be looking to put some daylight between themselves and the drop zone in the evening game at informed Barnsley. To League One, Charlton stay top, but their draw with struggling Walsall allows Sheffield Wednesday to close the gap on them to 5 points. MK Dons move into 3rd above Huddersfield, who suffered only their 2nd defeat in 45 league games against Bournemouth. That's 2 on the bounce. At the bottom, Chesterfield's defeat in the basement clash against Wickham leaves them 3 points adrift of safety. Victory for Yeovil lifts them out of the bottom 3. Rochdale slip into the drop zone after defeat at Bramall Lane. And to League Two, Crawley are back in top spot, courtesy of their victory at Burton, and Southend's first defeat in 12 games to 3rd place Cheltenham. Swindon failed to take advantage of the Brewers' defeat as they draw with Bristol Rovers, seeing them stay 6th. At the bottom, Plymouth were denied a precious victory against Bradford by a late equaliser, but that point is enough to lift them off the bottom above Dagenham and Redbridge, who lost to Port Vale. The result also puts another point between the Bantams and the relegation places. And the SPL, Rangers and Celtic both won, meaning there's still a 4-point gap between the two. Motherwell strengthened their grip on 3rd place with victory over St Johnstone. Aberdeen's draw with St Mirren lifts them off the bottom, and Dunfermline's game was postponed due to heavy fog. OK, let's get the headlines then from the Premier League today. Arsenal 1, Everton 0. Robin van Persie doing it again. The Dutchman's volley, his 33rd Premier League goal of 2011. It's now 7 league wins in their last 8 for the Rod-Hot Gunners, who are celebrating their 125th birthday today. Norwich 4, Newcastle United 2. The Canaries winning a 6-goal thriller at Carrow Road. Grant Holt scoring twice for them, breaking the 50-goal mark for the club in the process. Denver Bar scored both goals for 10-man Magpies, who had Dan Gosling sent off. It finished Liverpool 1, Queen's Park Rangers 0. Suarez ending his Anfield goal drought with the only goal of the game. It's the Uruguayan's first goal in front of the Reds fans since September, and ending a run of 4 straight home draws for Kenny Dalglish's side. West Brom 1, Wigan 2. The Latics showing their steel with second comeback win in 3 games. Victor Moses and Jordi Gomez penalty scoring the goals to lift Roberto Martinez's side out of the bottom 3. Bolton 1, Aston Villa 2. A dirty dozen of defeats, with Bolton now suffering their 12th Premier League loss this campaign. Ivan Klasic's second half strike not enough for the Trotters to rescue a point. All saved them from slipping to the foot of the table. And Swansea 2, Fulham 0. Scott Sinclair and Danny Graham's goals winning it for the Swans in their first ever top-flight meeting between these two clubs. It's a 7th clean sheet for Brendan Rodgers' men after Michael Vaughan saved Clint Dempsey's penalty. So plenty for you to see on Match of the Day tonight. It's on BBC One at 10:20 with Gary and the Allens. The Football League show with Manish follows that. And then tomorrow, Match of the Day 2 on BBC One. Martin O'Neill ending his exile from top flight management. Sunderland, Blackburn, Rovers and Stoke Tottenham are the day's other games. OK, let's hear now from Chris Smalling. Manchester United, of course, 4-1 winners. He's a bit happier today than he was midweek.
Chris, congratulations. How much of that is a relief after the week?
No, we knew it was going to be a big game, and then we needed to show the fans that we could get back on track, and I thought we did that today.
How much disappointment is there around after the result in Basel?
No, I mean it was a massive disappointment. I mean, this club doesn't normally expect things like that, but I think it's down to us players to show that we can finish the season strong.
Said today it was about the senior players stepping up to the mark, and the likes of Nani and of course Wayne Rooney got 2 goals each today. It was important for people like that to take responsibility, I suppose, under the circumstances.
Yeah, I mean they are the senior players, but I mean half that team's a young team as well. So I think it was about us showing that despite that disappointment that we can move on, and that we're big enough to move on. But yeah, it was a big game for all of us.
As one of the younger players, just how hungry is the squad to prove themselves? Obviously, there's been a little bit of criticism in the week.
Yeah, I mean, the manager's given us faith all season, and it's down to us players to reward that back and show the fans that we're part of the 11 and we should be out there.
Excellent.
We heard from Chris this morning there. Let's go straight to Jonathan Pearce, who's at Old Trafford. Convincing win for Manchester United. We spoke before the match about the problems they're potentially going to have in defence with no Vidic. You're up some on that area of the field today.
Well, Rio Ferdinand was excellent, I thought. There have been question marks about him all season. He defended very stoutly. Johnny Evans alongside him. Fairly flawless performance by him. Chris Smalling, one of 5 players aged 21 or underused by Manchester United. They occasionally looked a little bit raw at right back when Jarvis ran at him on the outside, and it was from a Jarvis cross that Fletcher scored for Wolves and pulled them back into it at the start of the second half. But overall, Gabby, you know, Sir Alex Ferguson said there's no point gnashing their teeth and wailing about that Euro exit in the week. They just had to get on with it. And they did right from the very start. Carrick with a darting, diving header just over. Nani cutting in to score his goal from the left-hand side. Rooney opening up the shape of his body to get a shot off to make it 2-0. His first league goal since September. And they won really at a canter. They could have scored 6 or 7. Lovely driving run by Jones to feed Valencia. Low driven cross to give Nani his second. And then for me, the best individual goal of them all, Rooney coming away from goal to pivot and shoot in the 4th to end Wolves' hopes. It was a very good display by Manchester United. No, they're not good enough to win the Champions League this season. They're not in that competition, but on the evidence of this, they're good enough to stay in the title race, that's for sure.
Thank you, Jonathan. I was going to say have a safe journey home. He's only next door, but that doesn't mean, of course, that he's coming here afterwards. Getting used to our new bearings here. It's our first day in our Salford studio. It's gone well in Salford for Manchester United today, putting behind their midweek experiences. It's all about the league for them now.
It is, and it was important, though, to put it back on in the right direction after the midweek. You know, Manchester United so many times in the past have responded fantastically well. Today, there was only going to be one winner in this game. Wolves, not sure about their performance. They were all over the place at times. But Manchester United played with lots of confidence, and they're back on track, and it's a good reaction.
Just a quick word, Garth, on what was the big result of the day for you. Was it Wigan's win?
Wigan's win away in difficult circumstances. The penalty save, fantastic, and the penalty taker was Gomez who put the penalty. Vorm made the save. Fantastic.
Guys, thank you very much. You can have your say as well, of course, as usual, on 6:06. It's on 5 Live, of course. Robbie Savage is back with Mark Chapman and Jason Roberts this evening. Strictly Come Dancing will never be the same again. It'll probably be better. Have your say there. We're going to the red button. You can get some more reaction from managers and players around the Premier League. If not, we'll see you next time on the HD channel and the red button at 2:30 next Saturday. Bye-bye.